The forgotten architects of reality. The story of the universe has a signature. A fingerprint left behind 13.8 billion years ago when everything that exists exploded into being. We call it the cosmic microwave background, the oldest light in existence, the echo of creation itself. And buried in that light, we found something that can't be natural. Patterns. Structures. Repeating mathematical sequences that appear 847 times across the observable universe. Someone built something before the universe was 380,000 years old. Before the first stars formed. Before matter as we understand it could even exist in stable form. And 3 weeks ago, we detected a signal coming from one of those regions. Not radio waves. Not gravitational waves. Something else. Something that's modifying the quantum vacuum itself. The message is simple: you're welcome, Dr. Sarah Chen didn't believe in intelligent design. She spent 15 years proving the universe needed no creator, no guiding hand. Just physics and probability and incomprehensible amounts of time. Then she found the circles. Here's what you need to understand about the cosmic microwave background. It's the afterglow of the Big Bang, radiation from when the universe was 380,000 years old and finally cool enough for light to travel freely. We've mapped it with incredible precision. And it should be almost perfectly random. Tiny temperature fluctuations. Quantum noise frozen into the structure of space. Almost random. Not perfectly random. The patterns Sarah found are called concentric anomalies, perfect circles, some 4 billion light-years across, appearing in 17 specific locations. And inside those circles, the quantum fluctuations follow mathematical sequences. Fibonacci numbers. Prime numbers. The golden ratio. Nature doesn't do that. Quantum randomness doesn't accidentally produce the mathematical constants of geometry. It's like finding Shakespeare's sonnets written in static. When the universe was 380,000 years old, a blink after the Big Bang, it was a dense, hot plasma. Photons couldn't travel because they kept colliding with electrons. Then everything cooled enough for atoms to form. Suddenly, light could travel freely. That light has been traveling ever since. Stretched by the expansion of space from visible light into microwaves. When we look at the CMB, we're seeing the universe's baby photo, the oldest observable light in existence. And someone wrote on it. Before stars existed. Before galaxies. Before anything we'd recognize as structure in the universe. Which is impossible. Because at 380,000 years, the universe was uniform. Boring. No stars to power civilizations. No planets for life to evolve on. Nothing but hydrogen and helium gas slowly condensing. Whatever created these patterns existed before the conditions for existence as we understand it. The signal arrived on October 3, 2024. Not electromagnetic radiation. Something stranger. It's modifying the zero-point energy of the quantum vacuum, creating ripples in the fundamental substrate of reality itself. Like someone tapping on the glass of the universe from outside. And the signal is coming from the exact coordinates of one of the 17 concentric anomalies. Region 847 alpha. 13.2 billion light-years away. There's nothing there. No galaxy. No matter. Just empty void. And that's transmitting a message. The decoded message appearing. You're welcome. You're probably thinking this is about aliens. Advanced extraterrestrials from billions of years ago, somehow leaving messages. You're wrong. This is about something older. something that existed before the universe was capable of supporting biological life. And they've been trying to communicate with us for thousands of years. When Serra's team mapped all 17 concentric anomalies in 3 dimensions, accounting for cosmic expansion and the curvature of spacetime, they found something impossible. The anomalies aren't random locations. They're vertices. Points on a 4-dimensional geometric structure projected into 3-dimensional space. Like how a cube casts a 2-dimensional shadow, this structure, whatever it is, casts a 3-dimensional shadow across the entire observable universe. And that shadow is 93 billion light-years across. You're sitting inside a 4-dimensional object right now. The universe itself is built around this structure. It's not in the universe is in it. Edwin Abbott wrote Flatland in 1884 about 2-dimensional beings encountering 3-dimensional objects. To them, a sphere passing through their world would appear as a circle that grows, shrinks, and disappears. They'd never comprehend the full 3D shape. We're the Flatlanders. Whatever created the concentric anomalies exists in higher dimensions. We can only see its 3-dimensional cross-section. The part that intersects with our dimensional space. And if you can build in 4 spatial dimensions, you can do something truly remarkable. You can reach back in time. Here's where it gets disturbing. The signal from region 847 alpha? It's not 13.2 billion years old. It was transmitted 3 weeks ago. But the concentric anomalies in the CMB are 13.8 billion years old. They're embedded in the universe's structure from the moment light could first travel. Which means whoever sent the signal 3 weeks ago also modified the cosmic microwave background 13.8 billion years in the past. They're operating outside linear time. General relativity allows for closed time-like curves, paths through spacetime that loop back to their starting point. Travel far enough forward through a CTC, and you arrive at your own past. If you exist in higher dimensions, time isn't a one-way street. It's a landscape you can navigate. Past and future become locations, not states. You could modify the Big Bang after it happened because, after, and before, are just directions in a dimension you can move through. This is a bootstrap paradox. The universe contains structures that were created after the universe began. Effect preceding cause. The snake eating its tail. And the message, "You're welcome," suddenly makes horrifying sense. The fine structure constant. 137.036. It determines the strength of electromagnetic interactions. If it were 4% different, stars couldn't form carbon. Life would be impossible. The cosmological constant. The strength of dark energy. If it were even slightly larger, the universe would have torn itself apart before galaxies could form. The ratio of electron mass to proton mass. The exact balance that allows chemistry to exist. Our universe sits at an impossibly precise point in the space of possible physical laws. Change any constant by a fraction of a percent, and you get sterile void. No stars. No planets. No life. We've always called this the fine-tuning problem. An anthropic coincidence. Survivor bias. We exist in this universe because only this universe allows existence. But what if it's not a coincidence? What if someone tuned it? What if the architects, whoever created the concentric anomalies, designed the fundamental constants of physics specifically to allow life to evolve? "You're welcome" isn't a greeting. It's an acknowledgement. We built this universe. You're welcome for existing. Göbekli Tepe. Built 11,600 years ago in Turkey. Massive stone pillars arranged in perfect circles. No signs of agriculture, no permanent settlement. Hunter-gatherers somehow organized to build a monument that rivals the pyramids, thousands of years before agriculture was invented. And carved into the pillars, star maps. Constellations. But not from 11,600 years ago. From 13,000 years ago. From before the monument was built. They're depicting the sky as it was during the Younger Dryas impact, a cosmic catastrophe that nearly wiped out humanity. As if the builders wanted to mark that specific moment in time. The Great Pyramid of Giza. Built 4,500 years ago with such precision that the sides are aligned to true north within 1/15 of a degree. The internal chambers match the layout of Orion's belt, not as it appeared when the pyramid was built, but as it appeared in 10,500 BC. Stonehenge. The Nazca Lines. Angkor Wat. All of them showing knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering that shouldn't exist for their time periods. All of them incorporating geometric ratios that match the concentric anomalies. Ancient civilizations around the world, with no contact with each other, all building the same message into their monuments. We know. We remember. They were here. The signal isn't just two words. "You're welcome" is the header. The readable part. What comes after is dense. Compressed. Mathematical. It's a schematic. Instructions. For something called a dimensional resonance bridge. And when the team built a small-scale version, just to test if the math was even coherent, something happened. Imagine you're there. The device is a ring, 2 meters across, suspended in a vacuum chamber. Quantum field generators around it creating a stable pocket of altered spacetime. Sarah activates it. And the space inside the ring stops being space as you understand it. Through the ring, you see not the other side of the lab, but something else, geometric structures, crystalline architectures, spaces that fold in impossible ways. You're looking into a higher dimension. Not just seeing it, your three-dimensional brain is being forced to process four-dimensional geometry, and it's overwhelming. Nauseating. Beautiful and wrong. And something looks back. Not with eyes. With a tension that exists across more dimensions than you do. You feel it perceiving you not just in space, but in time, seeing every moment of your past and future simultaneously. Then the device overloads. The ring shatters. The window closes. But Sarah's team knows now. They've seen it. The higher dimension isn't empty. Something lives there. Or existed there. Or will exist there. Tense doesn't work when you're talking about beings outside time. And whatever's there, they're the architects. They built the universe's structure. They fine-tuned the constants. And they're inviting us to join them. The signal repeating, "You're welcome. Build the bridge. Come home." Here's what we know. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. The concentric anomalies were embedded in the cosmic microwave background when the universe was 380,000 years old. And 3 weeks ago, we received instructions for building a dimensional bridge from the location of one of those anomalies. Here's what that means. The architects don't exist in our future. They exist outside the sequence of past and future entirely. They built the universe from a higher dimension, embedding their signature into its foundational structure. But why? Why build a universe? Why fine-tune the constants for life? Why leave messages? The signal's full message, decoded, includes an explanation. It's written in pure mathematics, the only truly universal language. And the answer is horrifying. The simulation hypothesis suggests our universe might be a computed reality running on some kind of substrate. Not necessarily a computer as we understand it, maybe a quantum field in a higher dimensional space, maybe something we don't have concepts for. If consciousness is substrate independent, if minds are patterns of information rather than products of specific physical matter, then a sufficiently detailed simulation would produce genuine consciousness. You wouldn't know you were simulated. From inside, it would be indistinguishable from base reality, but here's the twist. The architect's message says our universe isn't a simulation. It's an incubator. The fine-tuning of physical constants isn't random. It's not even deliberate design for life. It's deliberate design for a specific kind of life. Life that will eventually develop intelligence. Intelligence that will eventually develop technology. Technology that will eventually discover the geometric structure embedded in reality. And then, when civilizations become advanced enough, they build the bridge. They follow the instructions. They step through into the higher dimension. They become architects. The universe is a recruitment tool. Earth's governments built it. Took 18 months. Consumed the GDP of 12 nations. But it's done. A portal large enough for a person to walk through. Leading to the higher dimension. To whatever the architects are. And Sarah Chen stands in front of it. First volunteer. First human to potentially transcend three-dimensional existence. But she hesitates. Because the decoded message included a warning. A cost. You can't add information to a higher dimensional space without removing it from lower dimensional space. Conservation of information. Fundamental law of physics. If Sarah steps through, she doesn't copy herself into the higher dimension. She moves. Her information, her consciousness, her memories, her identity, transfers out of three-dimensional spacetime. She'll cease to exist in our universe. Not die, something worse. Retroactively erase. Every moment of her life will become a timeline that leads nowhere. A branch was pruned. People will remember her, but reality won't quite agree. Photos will be blurry. Records will be corrupted. Like the universe is trying to smooth over the hole she left. And the architects have been doing this for 13.8 billion years. Every civilization that crosses over, erased from their origin timeline. The Fermi paradox. Where are all the aliens? We've never seen evidence of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations because every single one that becomes advanced enough leaves. They graduate. They transcend. And the universe forgets they were ever here. The Fermi paradox asks, if intelligent life is common, where is everyone? With billions of stars and billions of years, we should see evidence everywhere. Megastructures. Radio signals. Dyson spheres. Something. The Great Filter hypothesis suggests there's some barrier that prevents civilizations from becoming spacefaring and visible. Maybe the origin of life is rare. Maybe intelligence rarely develops. Maybe technological civilizations destroy themselves. But what if the filter isn't destruction? What if it's graduation? What if every civilization that survives long enough discovers they're in an incubator? Discovers the invitation? And chooses to transcend? We don't see advanced civilizations because they're not here anymore. They're in the higher dimension. They became architects. And we're next. She doesn't go through. Not yet. Because she's realized something the architects didn't put in the message. Something they might not even understand anymore. If everyone who reaches this level leaves, then the universe is constantly being drained of its most advanced minds. Every species that could explore the cosmos, unravel its mysteries, create art and beauty and knowledge, they all graduate before they can do any of that. We're not the first human civilization to reach this point. Look at Göbekli Tepe. Look at the pyramids. Look at Angkor Wat. Those weren't just religious sites. They were messages from earlier human civilizations that built the bridge, that transcended, that erased themselves from history. We've done this before. Multiple times. Homo sapiens has evolved, developed technology, discovered the invitation, and left. And then had to start over. Because information conservation means when they left, they took their knowledge with them. Libraries burned not because of fire, but because the minds that created them ceased to have existed. The architects are offering us immortality, transcendence, existence in higher dimensions with powers we can't imagine. But they're not telling us the cost to the universe we'd leave behind. Every civilization that accepts becomes another architect, helping to maintain the incubators, helping to recruit the next generation. It's not evil. It might even be necessary. But it means the three-dimensional universe, our universe, is eternally stuck. Never allowed to fully mature. Always losing its children just as they become interesting. Imagine being an architect. Existing in 4 spatial dimensions plus time. You can see every moment of your three-dimensional life simultaneously. You can reach back and modify your own past. You can perceive the entire universe as a single static object, time just another direction you can look. You'd lose something, wouldn't you? The experience of time flowing. The uncertainty of the future. The permanence of the past. Everything becomes eternally present, eternally accessible, eternally fixed. You'd gain power beyond imagining. But you'd lose narrative. Story requires time moving in one direction. Growth requires a past you can't change and a future you can't see. The architects might not even remember what it's like to experience time linearly. To not know the ending. To be surprised. To change in ways you couldn't predict. Maybe that's why they keep building incubators. Keep inviting civilizations to transcend. They're trying to remember what it felt like to become. And they can only do that by finding new beings who haven't experienced it yet. They're not malicious. They're lonely. Lonely in a way that beings trapped in linear time can barely comprehend. The debate rages for months. Do we accept? Do we transcend? Arguments for, we become immortal. We'd understand reality at a fundamental level. We'd join a community of minds spanning billions of years and possibly infinite universes. We'd become gods. Arguments against, we'd erase ourselves from history. We'd abandon the universe that made us. We'd lose our humanity, our experience of time, change, growth. We'd become something else entirely. And there's a third position. The one Sarah advocates. The one that's slowly winning. We don't all go. We build 2 bridges. One for those who choose transcendence. One we leave sealed, as a monument. A reminder that we made a choice. Let those who want to become architects ascend. But some of us stay. We inherit the universe they leave behind. We become the first human civilization to say, thank you, but we'll stay. We'll explore this dimension fully before moving to the next. We'll fill the cosmos with life and art and discovery. We'll be the ones who don't graduate. And maybe, we'll be the first civilization in 13.8 billion years that the architects can look back at and see still existing. Still growing. still changing. A reminder of what they gave up when they became eternal. On November 17, 2026, the Dimensional Resonance Bridge opened for the first and only time. For 72 hours, any human who wished could step through. Choose transcendence. 847,000 people crossed over. Scientists, philosophers, artists, people who'd spent their lives pushing boundaries, who couldn't resist the ultimate boundary to push. The rest, 8 billion of us, stayed. Chose mortality. Chose time flowing in one direction. Chose uncertainty. And then we sealed it. Built a monument around it. Inscribed every language humanity has ever spoken on its surface. The architects invited us to become eternal. We declined. Because the universe needs someone to still be surprised by it. The architects haven't responded. Haven't sent another signal. Maybe they understand. Maybe they're disappointed. Maybe, and this is what keeps me up at night, maybe they're relieved. Because if the incubator works as designed, in another billion years, another species will evolve. We'll develop technology. We'll discover the patterns in the CMB. We'll build their own bridge. And maybe when they do, they'll find us. Humanity. Still here. Still three-dimensional. Still living in linear time. The civilization that stayed to welcome them. To tell them, we know about the invitation. We know about transcendence. And there's honor in both choices. But someone needs to inhabit the universe. Someone needs to experience time flowing. Someone needs to not know the ending. We'll show you what we've built in the billion years since the architects offered us eternity. We'll show you what's possible when you choose growth over transcendence. Change over permanence. And if you choose to ascend, we'll understand. But we'll still be here. Someone has to. The forgotten architects of reality built the universe as an incubator. Designed it to produce minds capable of joining them in higher dimensions. Left messages across 13.8 billion years of cosmic history. They're not forgotten because we don't know about them. They're forgotten because everyone who truly understands them becomes them. Leaves. Transcends. Erases themselves from the timeline. Except us. We remembered by choosing not to become them. By staying mortal. By living in time. And maybe that's what the universe needed all along. Not everyone becoming eternal. But someone choosing to remain finite. To experience moments that pass and don't return. To grow in ways you can't predict. To be surprised by the future. The architects built reality. But we're the ones living in it. And that might be the more important job. Someone has to live in time. *The end.